Yo, what is up, folks? TrevCG here with Izzet Cori-Steel for Pioneer and Explorer. This is a take on the Izzet Prowess deck built around Cori-Steel Cutter, which is one of the kind of most exciting cards coming out of Tarkir Dragonstorm, at least so far. One in a red equipment. Put creature gets some sort of trample and haste, but whenever you cast your second spell each turn, make a 1/1 white among creature token of prowess, you may attach this equipment to it. Kind of like a mini monetary mentor, except that you can't like actually kill the source with creature removal. And then also giving the monk haste as well is super nice. It's kind of an engine card. We've seen this get played in a standard decent amount. It's kind of like taking up a spot slot straight into like the red decks. And also a Izzet Prowess deck similar to this one, just won the modern challenge, which is pretty exciting too. And hey, take some inspiration for that. I've been jamming it a little bit in Izzet, and have been quite liking it. The other card that's kind of like non-standard from what you might expect if I were to tell you like Izzet Prowess is Bedlam Reveler. This is a pretty interesting one. We want to like double spell a bunch for Cori-Steel Cutter, which means we're playing like all 1 mana cards. So there's no like Slick Shot Shelf, for example, which you're like, maybe that's too edgy. But one of the things here is like, oh, we want some kind of way to redraw cards and stuff. Treasure Cruise would be one way to go, but can be a little bit awkward. Casting multiples of them and chaining them together is really hard, because obviously you're exiling your graveyard. And so instead of going down that route, I'm going with Bedlam Reveler. And again, this is taking some inspiration from the list that did well in Modern, but it does fill that slot really nicely. You get into discard, draw 3 cards, keep fueling the fire, and then to that end, we've got a bunch of 1 mana cards alongside the Cori-Steel Cutter, just kind of keep us chaining through resources and be able to cast as many spells as possible. Ideally, we can double spell on our turn on our opponents. Can be a little tricky, depends on how things go, but like obviously, if you get to trigger this on both turns later in the game, that's a ton of monks, which is cool. So, actual like threats. Alongside the Bedlam Revelers and Cori-Steel Cutters, we have 3 different 1-drop creatures or pseudo creatures. 4 Monstrous Whisper, 4 Soul Scar Mage, and 4 copies of Storm James's Talent. This obviously makes a 1/1 prowess creature, but also being a non-creature spell, having that ability to later on in the game. One of the other things where like this doesn't synergize well with Treasure Cruise is that either Treasure Cruise would be like a decent thing to pick back up, but then you need like the run of cards in your graveyard, and once you've cast that one again, it's really hard to get the second one without having ways to just absolutely just mill yourself. And then here, hey, you get to pick something back up and it stays in your graveyard even after the Bedlam Reveler. So hey, whether that's just picking up a cantrip, picking up a removal spell, or picking up a monstrous rage, can be kind of nice. So those are our 3 late main creature threats, along with Steel Cutter and Bedlam Reveler. We've got 8 actual like blue cantrips with Consider and Ops, and then we also have 4 copies of Crash Through, which is kind of an interesting choice over something like Sleight of Hand. Being able to give all your creatures trample, which is all of them, not just one, whatever, for 1 card while just kind of like chaining through your deck is super handy. We've got the 4 monstrous rages because we're playing a red deck in a non-modern format. This card has just been so powerful across Magic, to be honest. 4 Burst Lightning, early removal. Alongside of these, we also have 2 copies of Reckless Rage. They obviously work really well with Soul Scar Mage and Monstrous Whisper. Are a little bit more awkward with Storm Chaser's Talent, but you just need to cast 1 extra spell before you do it. It's totally reasonable. And then that is our set of spells. Note that Cori-Steel Cutter doesn't care about creature non-creature. Either you can like dump this on turn 2, or on turn 3 you can play this and then a 1 mana spell to trigger it and go off. You're then playing 18 lands. Obviously, that's with the 12 cantrips, 4 Sea Invents, 4 Spiral Canal, 4 Shivering Reef, 4 Riverlight Pathway, 1 mana to 1 island. Obviously, we have a bunch of 1 mana spells we want to cast at both blue and red. The single pips do matter a lot. You might take a little bit of damage off the Shivering Reefs here, but I was really close to like playing like a Mana Confluence in it. So the pathways can be a tad awkward. Just bear that in mind. I'll go through the sideboard. I'm going to take this into the Explorer Metagame Challenge, which is up at the minute, which is best of 3. It is also single elimination, so we'll see how well things go. I did post a Goblins video yesterday where we spent 15 minutes losing to blue-white, but the deck is cool, so okay, there's that. Sideboard. One thing here is that Bedlam Reveler is like discarding your cards and drawing your cards. It can be a little awkward to play counter spells game 1. You might expect to see something like Spell Pierce here, but we're not doing that. Post board though, because 1, your opponent might be attacking your graveyard a little bit, so you maybe want to trim down on Bedlam Revelers depending on the matchup. But we have some counter spells here with Spell Pierce and Disable Stroke. Stroke in particular is nice because when you're getting things back with Storm Chaser's Talent, getting like a hard counter spell is really handy versus some of the ram decks in the format. 2 copies of Unable to Scream to deal with like really awkward creatures, whether that's versus something reanimated, whether your opponent's like bringing back Atraxa or Vagaboth. Hey, isn't let's just be like, right, that doesn't have any text anymore. For like more combo stuff, we have 3 copies of a Razorkin Needlehead, really nice versus things like Phoenix and trying to draw a bunch of cards. Even like other control decks, you can put it as an additional threat here, which is going to ping your opponent and just get that residual damage in. And then those come in alongside like Spell Pierces, Strokes, and stuff, depending on the type of control deck or ramp deck or combo deck. The Spell Pierces can be really good. The Strokes, depending, like versus Field, it does actually count as some relevant cards. So bear that in mind too. And then versus aggro, we've got 3 copies of Torch Tower and 3 copies of Pyroclasm. Pyroclasm doesn't kill most of our creatures. Again, with the Storm Chaser's talent, you just need to cast another spell or just play it afterwards. Either way around, it works out. And being able to recover Pyroclasm actually can be a non-zero value. Yeah, gonna take this into the Explore Metagame Challenge and see how we do. If you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. I would really, really appreciate it. Do like, share the video around. All that good stuff helps me out a ton. And yeah, hopefully you can have a nice run. Alright, first match here. Like I said, single elimination, best of 3. We'll see how things go. You get to be on the play. We have double Storm Chaser's talent with a Swift Spear. I mean, we're going to keep this, but we have very little interaction. We're just going to be kind of playing to the board and hoping everything sticks. I'll lead with Swift Spear. We'll go Swift Spear, Storm Chaser's talent. The sequence so we play the non-creature spells later on. Maximize our prowess triggers. Either way. We'll see. See Swamp there. I'll pay this on blue. But the life doesn't really matter here, and there is a chance that we want to, like, this does change. I'm actually going to play this. I think that's the thing, like, basic Swamps, I'm not too worried about early sweepers, but they may well have, like, early creature interaction. But hey. And then, if we need to, we can, like, pitch land black, white. Okay, I take it all back. If we get locked down on 3, I'll be very sad. Okay, Pride Mate. Never mind. Oh, this is a pretty nice draw here. So I think from our side, we will play this on blue. And we can go Steel Cutter. We're just going to play our hand out here. Into the Storm Chaser's talent. That'll trigger the Steel Cutter. As well as our Prowess Strings. We'll equip it. Make our 1/1 and come into the red zone with everything. And yeah, quite a lot of damage pretty quickly. We got the Crash for next turn, get everything trample, get all the Prowess triggers. Alright, game 1. Okay. We saw Pride Mate, we didn't see tons else. I'm looking at like these cards. In terms of what I cut, like they're not gonna be necessarily like super in on stuff. We wouldn't be like interacting early on creatures. I don't think the game's gonna go super grindy. Trimming something that's typically, because your opponent might bring Graveyard Hate if they see these, I would be trimming a couple of these here. I'm just thinking about what else we actually want to think about cutting down on. As far as removal goes, like the Reckless Rages should be good, especially if Primates grow a little bit. They can still get out of hand, of course, but it's awkward. In terms of cantrips, Crash Through is technically our worst one, but we know they're going to be playing creatures to the ground, which is a little awkward. And then similarly, we may get like stuck with some of these in hand. I'm playing 4 copies of Bedlam Reveler for the purpose of testing here. It might be that 4 isn't the right number also. But hey. So the way I'm thinking about this, I'm going to cut some cantrips, which should be the Crash Throughs because they're the worst ones, even though the Trample is nice. And I think I'm going to trim these Bedlam Revelers because we need to be interacting early. And the game should, if they have like a massive Pride Mate of getting like a have like a wall of creatures, we're not going to get through anyway, and the like +1/+1 to all my creatures and trample is not helping a ton. And then similarly, we'll try and deal with them this way. It might also be correct that cutting like 2 copies of like Storm Chaser's talent is correct here, especially boarding in the Pyroclasms, but I think that this is right. I don't like the idea of cutting like the 1-mana spells. There's also something to be said for boarding in more. You consider here, I really don't want to mess around with. We have 2 early pieces of removal. We have a cantrip to final land. We're on the draw. We have Reckless Rage. We don't have like creatures for this. This is basically a multi-6 right now with a 1 land. And a mulligan. Alright. We're still like not getting early creatures, but we'll go ahead and keep this. I will bottom the Shivan Reef, I think. And if need be, we'll kind of try and play a semi-control game plan up to the Bedlam Reveler. It's not exactly what we want to be doing here, but we'll see how things play out. Play out. Oh, they've gone down to 5. Okay, rough. And we did draw a 1-drop. I still don't want to commit to playing some blue until we have, like, I want to play this when with like the most information possible, in case we need to go like double red spell to burn 2 things here, for example. It's a 2/3. What on earth is that? You can bargain away the enchantment. It is actually like the chance of getting value out of this is quite low. Just thinking about it, this is like, we need to remove this, and it also starts buffing their things outside of Pyroclasm range, which is not good. I'm just thinking if we want to do anything else first. I'm gonna regret. Ops. Just have a look at what's going on. I actually kind of want the land now. We're kind of building towards the Reveler. Okay, we can play that on red. So, I think, yeah, we can bargain it, sacrificing his talent. Consider I'm happy to keep on top. Let's fight through any creatures or whatnot. We want to have a cantrip to be able to cast, to be able to play this Pyroclasm potentially, and like keep our Otter alive, is the TLDR for that. We'll see. As I said, they're mulligan to fight, that's a 1/3 as well. So I'm still kind of set around with this here. Does have Death Touch. Yeah, this counts as a sorcery, to be clear, not non-creatures, so the Storm Chaser's talent in the graveyard doesn't matter. I'm like, do I want to trade this for this? Do I hate it? I'm gonna cast Consider. Just see what's going on. Okay. That's good to know about. Again, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's cast this next turn. Yeah, I'm done attack. Want to trade? Maybe not. Okay. There's also a line where we go like Burst Lightning this into playing the Pyroclasm next turn, and we get the same kind of effect as if we play the cantrip. Okay, that seems pretty good with the Essence Channel to play. This thing is when you gain all these life during your turn. Okay. This is annoying. We do it the same way, it just comes here instead. I'm gonna cast this up first again. Just have a look. Does that change things? I mean, potentially. Let's see what they do here. I'll write the strike here. I say, it didn't have any. I was like, it didn't have counters on it, right? Surely I didn't do that. We're fine. But now the Bedlam overloads it. Okay. This is activated abilities are turned off. That's a Limvala half. And it gains activated abilities. Water kick. I want to like play cards before the Reveler. We're on 15, they're on 13. Let's see what they do here. We don't have like out to draw cards to actually kill these. I'm kind of like, let's just use the oh, actually we need to remember that we have a blue source here. The stupid blue source. Alright. Apply relevant pressure. Okay. So, like, you can chain these together and it's pretty powerful. We're also at a point where we can pick something back up here. Like, we can get back, like, the Monstrous Rage. Which actually, in this situation, is not too bad. Or if need be, get back, like, the Torch now. Recast it. Banner. Still our batty. Okay. This line is not as appealing anymore because they're on 8. I'll cast this consider and see what's going on. Use our 1 blue source. Line of the bin. Florence use Stormchaser's talent. That makes sense. Play chant, get the Prowess trigger going. Draw a fresh grip of 3 cards. The Pyroclasm was not helping us, but yeah, they're gonna be desk creatures. Alright, nice. Alright, second match, we are 1-0 in the metagame challenge. Alright, another play this time. Decent hand, couple of creatures. Bit of interaction for small creatures. Alright. Gonna keep this. Swarm. Please Soul Scumage. Okay, so we have the this looks like some kind of like demon deck, I guess. But it's hard to we've only seen a couple of cards. I am going talent. And then I'll attack here. I feel like it's a crash through, but if the depending on what opponent does here, I'd rather have like the burst lightning around. Or okay, interesting. Use the spells later. Thought Seed. I don't love that. Don't read the new card. There's a lot of text on it. Can't get that one back with something to out, unfortunately. But hey. Alright, let's look on 2 lands. We kind of need to try and punish them as much as possible here. I'm going to start by casting the Crash 3. What else is going on? If we draw anything else. I was really tempted to play the new, like 1 mana red spell from Tarkir in here. We can chain Crash 3s together, that's fine. We've got no mana untapped. This is like a good time to use up this Monstrous Rage. Well. Though doing this is probably more worthwhile. Because they can potentially like make a blocker next turn. And given the situation, keeping the other Monstrous Rage so I can do both creatures, just kind of present lethal next turn is probably the way. Yeah. It'd be like mono black or Rakdos Demons. What I'd like lean towards. I don't want to tune like super heavily in either direction. To the point where I don't necessarily want to change any of our side. Right? If they're on some kind of demon deck, the Unable to Screams are quite nice. That's kind of tempting. Like really reading hard. I don't really want to like bring in like this and stuff. Like having 2 of these instead of 2 of the Burst Lightning seems pretty reasonable. Or maybe instead of the Reckless Rages. Because these don't kill things like Shieldred. Like everything else gets picked up by the smaller removal. Something like this. Also, still like a little clunky with the talents. They've not seen the Bedlam Revelers, so I think that's kind of reasonable. If they're on mono black, then these are actually really bad. Well, I'm like kind of shooting their on Rakdos. They're not dead anyway, but yeah. To the extent of that, actually, I'm gonna split these with torches. I'll leave a split in. just to hedge a little bit. I think I'm going to leave these out. Yeah. They kind of know what we're up to. Even though they've not seen that Reveler. Does it mean kind of they're like unable to scream is what we're playing in our sideboard to deal with things like Sheldred like falls into the falls into the clash of like Atraxa style, like big things we need to turn off. Rather than playing like not necessarily roast, but some other like actually we're gonna have a look in this. We'll keep this and bottom Reveler. This seems the safest option by far. Yeah. A spin into the red zone. Nowhere to run. Alright. We drew a land, which is a saving grace, honestly. Alright. Okay, so they are demoning things. This is just kind of going to happen anyway. So it does appear they're like definitely mono black. Okay, they're going to kill the Ola here. That's not the end of the world. Like I said, we don't have like the spell pierces, that kind of thing, but they don't know that. Consider draw a Soul Scar Mage and play it. Like at this point, we're kind of like looking to like, okay, we're just gonna like work our way through our deck. These might not get there, but eventually we'll work our way towards Bedlam Reveler to redraw things. This is rather annoying. This is super annoying, but yeah. Okay.
I've always hated crowds.
Have a 1-mana spell. We want to catch. Eventually. Or are they getting priority for being able to animate Meteor Vault? Not the time for not being able to put an intercessor in the graveyard is nice. But not time for straight. Okay, this is pretty cool. Shouldn't have many ways to deal with this. I'll just get it into play. We're on double Shivering Reef, which is a tad annoying, but it depends what top end they've still got left. If you have to discard cards, you can discard the Crash 3. We're like not that far being able to get something back from the Shoulder Piercer's talent. I've not talked about step 6 on this. Sorry, the third. Yeah, that was one of the things we wanted to avoid.
Don't overthink things.
Alright, how much life would a life? One, two, three, four, five. Like we die pretty quickly. Can't actually. Big action. Oh. Okay, we take like infinite damage here, but actually, all for the. Then we stop Liliana being able to minus. And because Liliana can plus, we might as well put our Shivering Reef out. Okay, so we're on 9, but we managed to do something. Like if we draw like Bedlam Reveler or cantrips, we're likely to be able to get a second Coast trigger. They're gonna come in and try and play beat down. Oh, Annex is interesting. They don't. They're 1 mana off being able to do the whole thing. All right. We die to Meteor Vault very quickly. Okay, so I think we need to be able to block the Mutavault in order to race. It's not great.
Delay.
But
Nothing more.
if they're having to spend mana to animate, okay, they got 5, so they can just flip it. Yeah, just so. Probably so then. We're at 4. Okay, that's not helping. No, he dies that way. Alright. Okay, we're doing the play again. We saw a lot more stuff. I don't have the honors. The Annex as well. We want to bring these spell pieces in. So versus the mono black version of the deck, like the torches and the burst lightnings only really kill Oni. And then they might be playing like the 2/3 like black creature, depending on the build. So actually these reckless rages are maybe a little better than they would be otherwise. And then in terms of that as well, the torches are better than the burst lightnings would be. Stroke wise, I actually don't know. No, if you annex for 3, you can't stroke it, but like you can like get like Fieldred. Not enough. And then like, do we want to bring in, if they're playing, do we want to bring in additional creature threat? Alright, let's think about this. We want the enable to screams, we need those. Spell Pierce, like hits like Liliana, chance to the annex and stuff. The reckless rages are fine, the torches are but reasonable. Also, I guess I'm not that worried about them going Oni on the. They've also brought it to be more controlling. Then what are we cutting, like crash throughs and things? I think we do need a Reveler in the deck, but it needs. Like it's tempting to go -3 on this. It should be all gas. We got punished a little bit. We didn't get punished super hard for the Paylands. This is something we can trade into Sheldred. Also does snipe down Liana. Okay, sure. I'm gonna cut 3 copies of Crash 3. We'll submit that. Okay. We've got some information. We've re-rigged our sideboarding. And we get to be on the play. Alright. Can't take all these Cori-Steel Cutters, but this is the potential to go wrong if we just don't draw any more 1-mana spells. Looks like they've mulliganed. Yeah, sure. So they have actually the Thought Teaser is kind of fine. I guess they take the Enable to scream, but we'll see. Like we could be casting Cori-Steel Cutters for the rest of the game, taking the 1-mana spell that also turns off a bunch of their stuff. It's probably play. Unless they have a way to get rid of them all. We'll do our thing. Yeah, the other downside of like this over some kind of just deal damage. So if we draw a 1-mana spell, oh, I should have been more specific. Target for this. Please don't let us monsters end up monster trading their own creature. This is like Liliana.
This is
I
my
don't read it.
home, and I don't appreciate. I'm tired of your secrets.
I think we drop the rage, though. They're going into it. This pushes us through any of the big stuff. It's just that we can only cast this if we have a creature. Okay. Let's go with this. We can also get it back potentially. All right. Let's do the thing. We'll send 2 of these at Lily. The Revel doesn't do anything right now, at least. Okay.
I'll be back with friends.
Yeah, the thing about keeping the Cori-Steel Cutter there is that Doesn't do non-token. We could like re-equip some of these. Or we could get something back. I don't hate it. I think this plan is better. Yeah. If it's a non-token creature, opponent controls would be put into graveyard and play, then they get zombies. The counter test is still really good. Let's not get it twisted. The temptation to like triple block here is very high, but not doing it. Alright, let's consider. We've got odds on top here. We have to make the decisions on these, but obviously they give them more haste, which is pretty big. We'll draw the extra spell. You can find a red card here. Pretty lethal. We didn't. This is 12, 21. $17. That's number one. Alright. Nice. Alright, third match here. 2-0 so far. I will say it's getting fairly late, and the challenge ends tomorrow morning, basically when I'm at work. So we'll see how many games we get in. That implies we keep winning. But hey. We'll see. Opponent is on the play. Feel like a solid hand. Again, like Soulscar Mage into talent. Depends on the matchup and stuff. Excuse me, I'm just joking there. Alright, looks like we have a good draw. We'll play out like first like early resources, but we don't want to go like super wide to the board. Kind of supposing a lot based on the Halifax start, but hey, the most likely possibility. You don't see a Yorion? Oh, interesting. Okay. Archaeologist could mean something. That's a blast zone as well. Don't know how to feel about that. Just. Like, see they block here. Like, this could mean they're playing like some kind of random ammunition side of the deck. It could mean they're playing some kind of Oculus pile. The blast zone maybe pushes us away from that line. Yeah. If they block, we should have cast the Monstrous Rage, get out of hand. Cash it in while they definitely don't have any way to remove it, and kind of like maximize our damage on the Archaeologist and through it. Alright, a handful of cantrips. No talent. We have lands and spells. Okay, there is a lockdown. We still didn't tell us like tons about what they're up to. I'll lead off with the opt here. I'll replay Soulscar and we'll just pass with mana up. There's one thing to be aware of. The blast zone is also good for us to know about. Yeah, like the moment of truth in the Archaeologist definitely implies something. Yeah. One thing about this color combination, we don't have great artifacts. Sorry, we have great artifacts. Answers in theory if you want access to them, but nothing great enchantment wise. There's like enough things around the format. I'm like, oh, you could play like some annals in the sideboard or something like that. We absolutely do not want to see Reckless Rage. That's for sure. Okay, Revel's interesting. If we can hit a land here. No, if we can hit a land here. Alright, I'll cast through these, because at this point we're going to be discarding them anyway. Alright. Now we'll see what's up next turn. And see what our opponent's up to. We've not really seen much yet. Gonna see the moment. I want to see some more cards. Okay. Definitely reads like this is a no more lies. We're still gonna play into it, and we're not gonna get to keep both the Venom Revelers anyway. Just a case of using their time here. But at least this way, like if they want to cast the Moment of Truth, they can't do it now. We're losing these. The power of Venom Reveler. These kind of matchups are just kind of like we could, in theory, have cast the Passer. So like Monstrous Rage, you put the roll on here, but there's no need for us to do that. All right, let's see more about what they're doing. Does seem like some kind of like blue white combo deck, especially given like the Archaeologist, the Moment of Truth. Like okay, some kind of like graveyard based combo deck. The kind of river like helps you find pieces. Like sure. The standard deck's like Reanimating Omniscience. You see like Chart Course here. I don't know if this is like. I mean, that is to say. It doesn't look like so there's an Omniscience we see. But do they have can they animate it straight away? Oh, we don't have great stuff for what's going on here. Oh, I like creature removal's kind of dead. Yeah, it Boiler's Awakening. We have Disputes plus Spell Pierces, which will be good here. Depends what their last card is. Unfortunately, if we had a red spell to kill this, it'd be great. But I will cast this now, just so get a chance to look and see. I'll draw this, at least there's trample and stuff. We should kind of draw a spell here. Okay, Monstrous Range isn't bad to say. It really just depends on what they have access to post. And we'll cast the Reckless Rage to take the action. Depends what they draw here now that they have Omniscience in play. We still don't know what this mystery card is, but they've not cast it yet. Alright, end of turn, what we got? Nothing there. What's the new card? Cavern. We've done the Awakening. Okay, we do get there. Phew. Alright, so what I was talking about was that we have the Stroke's interesting, it counters Awakening, and so it'll counter like sweeper type things, Spell Pierces, and then like maybe we bring these in. I say this because like none of these cards do anything. The Crash Throughs aren't really up to much either. The Reckless Rages I don't really want to keep in. We're doing this. There's something to be said for like the Monster Rages aren't really doing much. Maybe it's worth having a couple of things in the deck to shoot like weird stuff down. We want to be able to cast them. So if we're keeping removal spells in, we want them to be like Burst Lightning. It isn't straight up with the Archaeologist, but it's like, okay, sure. Is that worse than just having these? Probably is just worse. The reason why I'm thinking about it is like Monstrous Rage is a pretty dead card. Especially if they're just sweeping our board away. Giving ourselves like an out. Or are they going to do any weird like token stuff? We don't know. I think the safest is like leave like the one of Burst Lightning in. We don't want to be super extending. So like Archaeologist. I like the ones where they bring back. Monstrous Rage is a lot of damage, and they're not gonna have great spot removal. I'm gonna load up like this. I wish we had dedicated graveyard hate. That's another. It's hard to account for everything in the sideboard, but that's one of the things I'm like, maybe we have some Ghost Vacuums or Hearses or something. But bear in mind, the deck's trying to cast like a bunch of 1 mana spells. You probably want like over Hearse, even though Hearse is like the upside of being able to beat down. Yeah. Yeah. Something to think about. Sideboard is not perfect. Not tuned. Alright, opponents on the play. See what they've got going on. They're actually, still sideboarding. Let me know if you want to see. So I haven't made a timeless video in a very long time, but I covered the format like a ton when it first like started getting popular, and when we had like Modern Horizons 3 and stuff. But kind of like focused on mostly Explorer stuff. I really like Pioneer. Formats I play the most online are Pioneer, and then in paper is Modern. I'm playing like a bit of standard and stuff, but like a little bit depends on like the tournaments coming up and things. But like the biggest tournaments in the UK are all modern, basically. The company called Axion, shout out, kind of keeping the UK Magic scene alive. Like the LGSs do whatever. But there's like not a great Pioneer Explorer scene, I guess. Pioneer scene in paper. Thanks, Watsy. A little. But hopefully we get some tournaments next year. We'll see what the seasons look like, but it's like modern now, standard. Okay. Yeah, and sorry. That's all to say. If you're interested in seeing some timeless stuff, I'm gonna mulligan here. That these is the combination of cards. It's not doing it. This looks good. Back a land. I think so. Depends if they're still doing combo stuff. I'm gonna put out the Rhythm Reveler. Just so that we have access to like cast spells and do combo things. Don't use this spear, maximize damage. Just to think about like what we might draw into. Get Lost, Grand Abolisher. Let me see the invocation. We should slam this. Let's see if they block here. We'll play the Razor again. Start taking damage up. So, this thing is like part of a combo. They got the Get Lost. Oracle as well. Okay. Let's see like draw this card when it dies and stuff. They have like a lot on the board. Alright. Maybe the Razor can do enough. Beach. I'll play this blue side. I'll consider. And graveyard draw. I would like to find some interaction. I'll make these attacks. The Needlehead being like a 2/2, like being a 1/3, like we're not in danger or anything. I will cast this opt. Bombs. No, we need to try and find a spell pierce or something like that. Second Needlehead isn't terrible though. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and Chivalry. Alright, this is like turn 4. We know they still got the Get Lost here. They're holding on to it, which is like, oh, maybe they have like a piece of removal. This might be a little bit of an overextension, but we know that we have another creature back. If they lock down and they get rid of their own Oracle, it's kind of not the end of the world. They have gone through an Omniscience. Okay, so they have lockdown. Yeah, they discarded Omniscience off of the Oracle. I'll go ahead and play this out. We have 3 of the sorceries. I'll cast one of these. Just in case we draw a Spell Pierce. We didn't. We did draw a Bevelum Reveler. Okay. So given they didn't just go ahead and do the thing last turn, and they don't just have combo. Get Lost here. Ah, and that was Unlucky Keep as well. Alright, we drew Spell Pierce, so I can't cast the Bevelum Reveler. A little awkward. I will cast Crash Through. Will I get the mana value down? Okay, cool. We can Needlehead and have Spell Pierce up. I'm down for that. I don't necessarily want to play defense for it. They have blue mana open, but we'll try and spell pierce this. Okay. That does happen. It's better than Reveler out of 2 mana. Ooh, this is kind of nice. Make sure we don't mistap. If we draw blue source plus the second spell pierce or like dispute or some, it doesn't actually do anything, but okay. Okay, these are good cards to have access to. Also, Battle of Marvels doesn't get locked down. Still kind of does. We can maybe put ourselves in a position. Depends. It depends. If they have if they natural into the second way, so they mill through a second copy of this. Oh, I do have another one. Okay, 3 cards in hand. What do we have? Moment of Truth. Alright. This is indeed a moment of truth. What do we get? Moment of Truth. Again, look at the top 3. And again, I'm leaning more to putting in leaning in more removals for these. And I also didn't see the Omens game more. Okay, they're on 12. What else do we have? New Archaeologist. This could mean anything. New temporary lockdown. Oh, that's not what I want to see. This like cross check out twice again. So they search for a. They're gonna beseech. Now they beseech. What do they get? Invasion. I can't remember if it's like this town or it's like there's a few different things you can do, I think. I just want to see what they actually do. Okay, yeah, so they're this town. They can bounce, then bounce there, this, and I'm gonna scoop up here. We're so dead. Just okay, so thinking about it a bit more. The torches, especially if they're boarding into get loss, can do the 3 damage necessary to kill like archaeologists and things just to increase our clock, get us through faster, and like leave us with some ways to actually kill the 1/1 omniscience, which is a thing. The monster strategies I'm still like not a huge fan of. I think that like of these things and like the needleheads are like fine but not great. I'm just trying to think if temporary lockdown changes anything. We then have 3 copies here of Torch, 2 of these. Trying to. We still do just want to be able to kill. Maybe we want to try and make sure we're. The 1 damage doesn't really add up. I guess the other thing. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try and clock him. And then. No, I've been super happy with Reveler, I think. But yeah, it's one of the things where you could consider cutting a couple again. If you like. This match probably isn't going to go grindy. But there are other games here where they don't have the combo where it's like, okay, we have to play through like multiple like lockdowns or something like that. Here we don't have a 1-drop. Like we kind of need to flip this. Cutter. Alright, we'll keep this on 5. We have a 1-drop. We want to keep these 4 plus spell pierce. Which time to draw into something. Is this the game plan? I think so. Alright. I'm kind of down to commit to spell piercing temporary lockdown if we have a reasonable clock otherwise. What is... Okay, sure. Okay. Hmm. We're not playing around temporary lockdown in this. But we are on a multiplier. We can't afford to do that. So we're going to do the thing. This looks really good in theory. And if they have the temporary lockdown, then hey, look, we multiply. It's GG. If they don't have it, then maybe we're on something. Okay, moment of truth. This is like entirely copium. I'm certain that they just I in my head I'm just like certain that they have a lockdown. But yeah, this is a rough mulligan, but like one of the things with the Revelist, like oh we drew these instead of cards we can use. All right. If we get to untap with these things in play, we're looking pretty good. Wait for it. Okay, charter course. So like our ideal situation now is to just like chain cantrips together. And that clocks pretty quickly. Right, they're on 16. So if we chain 2 cantrips together and spell... Oh, well, it depends. One of them has to be a crash through. But with multiple steel cutters in play, you can rack damage up pretty quickly. Alright. Okay, we didn't hit. It's a go. Let's keep it up. This isn't quite a lethal attack, but we get away with another one. Alright, nice. Alright, 3-0. Into match 4. Yeah, so I think Ghost Vacuum and Annul are 2 cards I think about the sideboard for sure. This isn't like exceptional or anything, but like definitely in the realm of like we kind of keep this. It looks pretty awkward if they have like I don't know if they can just interact with our Suspicious straight away. But we have the cantrips to recoup. Sorry. Sea Chrome Coast, interesting. I'm gonna shock this. I'm gonna opt here. Basically committing to next turn going I'm happy enough to draw this. I'm a little wary. Mostly a Secret Grace, it's like, okay, maybe not just like normal blue light control. Maybe like spirits or something like that, where like I might want this burst lightning. And like next turn we can go Steel Cutter into Crash Through or something like that. Damage in there. Oh, or like Grease Fang. Okay, yeah, sure. We don't have loads of ways to kill Grease Fang game 1. Or necessarily games 2 and 3. Things like Rending Volley. Again, like I'm just listening like now I have time to like think a lot more about what's going on in the sideboard, just to check what they discarded here. Just add a card waste. We're good so far. I'm not talking anything out. I'm gonna cast this opt. If they want to like deal with this now, we get to go like Steel Cutter cantrip, be pretty happy about it. I'm going to take this Reckless Rage. I think that might be necessary. And kind of based off of that, I'm like, actually, maybe we don't want to Steel Cutter right now. I'm expecting like a flashback on this. I'm just a little worried about them going like untap Thoughtseize into Greasefang. Hey, yeah, we see the flashback on the Faithful Mending. Again, I did mention Ghost Vacuum already. But let's see. And I don't know if we can like hit another land here or not. See what we go towards. Okay, we see a Greasefang in the graveyard, no vehicles yet. Curiouser and Curiouser. Greasefang's had like a lot of like developments over like the last like couple of months. Different variations. Like most popular probably is actually the 4-color version. Kind of a Mardu Greasefang, but like playing some green cards. It's the cycling vehicle that you can just like cycle it into the yard is like actually really nice. I really want to go in with a Steel Cutter, but we just need to have mana open. Going like Swift Spear Crash Through is I think a good middle ground. Pretty happy to just do this. But okay, let's like present some relevant damage. Alright, we did draw another land, but it's tap land. Let's see like some point of interaction here, maybe. Alright, yeah, we see a Vanishing Verse. That'll happen. I could have been a little bit more aggro and like you just cashed in this Monstrous Rage for a little bit of damage out of here. Just like they've not put anything to the board yet. So like whether it's like using a burst line to clear a blocker or obviously the main thing is having Reckless Rage ready. Okay. We know that they well, we don't know. We assume they have Greasefang. Based on the fact they discarded one. But hey. Okay. I will lead with the Steel Cutter. Oh well. As much as one does. What do they have? They have more value. Better try of discarding Parhelion here. And yeah, this happens. This Monk token is our current route to being able to see Reckless Rage. If they've sandbagged like Thoughtseize Greasefang, then fair enough. I think that's the route where we lose. If not, we should hopefully have a pretty lethal set of attacks here. So that thing I talked about. They're on 10. And they had to say the Greasefang, they discarded one earlier. Or just yeah, this got a one to the Mending. So you see Greasefang. Hellion. Make Angels. They got an 8. I wonder what this last card is. I was like, this Shivan Reefs don't matter, right? Or these Shivan Reef. I think Burst Lightning, and Reckless Rage should get us there. I'm at least moderately confident. So I haven't bothered doing the legit like full math, because if we lose, we lose. If it doesn't, then we lose. But yeah, we just monster trades wherever they don't block here. Yep. Okay. So that thing I said before about us not having good answers to Greasefang. We have these torches, and these are kind of the only things that matter. Which is a very awkward position to be in. The spell pierces aren't nothing. They're not good. And then like, so these burst lightning, the burst lightnings practically do nothing. The reckless rages are actually what we want here in the matchup. The monster rage is not fantastic. I'm just like thinking like, what is worth keeping cutting? Some number of these have to go. I think in terms of numbers of cantrips, it's not something we love to touch. How valuable are spell pierces? Most of the ways, well, the only ways they've shown to like discard and draw are non-creatures, but they are like recursive. Having them around is probably okay, but not fantastic. And then I'm like, I want to trim 2 Battle Revelers because we just don't have time here. I don't think it is. I don't think this is likely to get super grindy. And it's like Reckless Rage versus, but Lightning can kill Greasefang. I think this way, and we use we rely a little, lean a little bit into the just power of Monstrous Rage, just to close quickly. Double Steel Cutter. Like we could just get like turn 3'd. However, if we don't, I feel like we should more. You take 1. I'm gonna do this. Get rid of the Monstrous Rage. And gets this one into play. Obviously, we want to draw a land here. If not, I'm going to cast a cantrip. If we don't hit, we don't hit. It is. They kept. I can't count. 6. And we did hit the land. Gonna. Yeah. Okay. It's a push. That's fine. Kind of want 3rd land here. So that we can cutter. We're not in danger of getting Greasefang right now. That can obviously increase in capacity very quickly. And instant speed. However, we don't have a good way to play around. I guess that's not really true. We can spell pierce their like end of turn, like discard. I hate this. I'm gonna do it. I feel like we have a responsibility to play reasonable and stuff. So I will spell pierce here. That will trigger the Steel Cutter. We can obviously do this later. It kind of sucks, but like the tempo is important. We also now have more tokens to sacrifice to torch and stuff like that. If we sequence correctly, we can do it in a way that doesn't like blow us out horribly. So we'll see. They have a grip full of cards. It's important to remember, I guess. Alright. I'll opt to do some prowess stuff. This can go on the bottom. It's kind of tempting to keep. I'll do this whole thing. Alright. Bit of a fatal push. Are they on the line to... Okay. Yeah. You got vehicle plus Greasefang. Vehicle plus Greasefang plus Thoughtseize in hand is the nightmare. Thoughtseize is an interesting one. Like, you want... Like, it protects the combo so well. Yeah, we see the Parhelion. They're at 17. Going to 9. Oh, right. Yeah. They have protection. They don't. I will top the Shivan Reef. It's just going to get Reveled away anyway. It seems to at least get mana out of the bargain. So we can go... we'll take damage, right? We go like red, blue. One cool thing here is that we can haste the Bedlam Reveler. Be conscious that if we can, we do want to... What do I have here? I have a removal spell. Maybe. If we can, we want to be able to like hold up stuff to kill Greasefang. But it depends what our 3 cards are. Alright, we did unlock a torch. So I will go ahead and Swift Spear. Alright, they're an 8. Oh, it was a sensor. Amazing. That's kind of sick, to be fair. Alright. Ooh, okay. Go again. Nice. Alright, we are 4-0. This is the next big jump. So I think if we win this, we'll go from like 5 boosters, 25,000 gold, to 10 boosters, 3,000 gold. Woohoo. Do get to be on the play. With I think a pretty decent hand. We'll go ahead and keep this. You're on the other side. Be a little past at the gate. So you've got better moment to catch back up, but this is another one of those like, oh, let's try and hope to dodge like temporary lockdown, that kind of thing. Or like if we refill off Revel. Oh, Water Grave. Okay, sure. This kind of Yorion. I'm gonna go Shivan Reef. Okay. Yeah, paid off slightly. I'm gonna cast this now, try and max out on damage. Just maximize pressure / damage. I'll leave the Crash Shield on top for us to play next time. That is a grinding matchup. It's one that Revel would be good. Potentially, like, if we get stuck on 2 lands, it's really, really tricky. But, we should be in a reasonable spot. We can try and count to 8. What other stuff's going on? If they pass here, it's like super likely they have like a nowhere to run. Not loads that we can do from our side to play around that. That could matter. I'm gonna play this on reds. We'll go ahead and crash the Crash 3. This would be the opportunity time to play it, I guess. Swift Spear, given this variant of Yorion and not just like blue. Go and send all our horses. Oh, interesting. They can make like a decent lot of... Oh, okay. They're not going to. Alright. We have the Shivan Reef to pitch to like the Nightmare. That itself is fine. The reason I played this instead of like playing the Shivery Fell is the damage actually could matter here, potentially, depending on how things shape up. They don't have another black source for now, but extra pixie. We get to reuse some stuff. Okay, crash through. I need to keep drawing spells here. Okay, unless someone chases talent, totally reasonable. We get to make good attacks here. Reveler itself down to 5, but it's going to end up in the graveyard. What it is. And yeah, these will trade away. Alright, we keep some creatures in play. They're at 5. They have that other world, that like nightmare to take our by the river away. Oh, Massacre's brutal. Okay. Well. We have a Reckless Rage, which we kind of would like to discard, actually. Oh, there's our opportunity. The hope here is that they don't have a way to make us discard another card. If they do, awkward. And then from our side, if we draw a land, yeah, we just slam this Better Remember into play. I miss playing with this card. Oh, and we drew Trickster. Oh, I said Trickster because it's the card. The card's not even called Kosi. It's called Cori-Steel Cutter. Wait, is Balance the Token not crazy? I was like, what do they have? This makes some sense. I was like, why do they do that and not bounce the... Oh, you get to draw a card as a token. That makes sense. Alright, they're at 9. I'm like, can we still have cards to play with? So close. Yeah, I absolutely want to trade this away. If possible. Okay. Like, as long as you still have the Cori-Steel Cutter in play, they like we've got like a solid chance to win the game. I'm not discarding the land, because it means that when they flip these off of Yorion, we don't have to discard both Revelers. Again, it's one of these things where we can't play them both anyway. It's totally reasonable. Would love to be able to. So we're going to have to discard here. And then also, this is so... To be able to, like, this to get the discard when we have a creature. Oh! I was just a little sad. Get rid of this. We're at 11, yeah. We can't afford to mess around, unfortunately. We have to discard this. Oh no! That's not a good draw. Alright. There are lines where you get to, like, Better the Reveler, like, haste everything of this. The like burn off of these is actually gonna finish us off here. Let's gain life for speed. It's the red one which deals damage equal to the difference. Okay. This is 7. This is Sensible Sorcery. I guess not. Okay, now we can pick stuff back up. We have the Reckless Range. We have the Opt, right? That's gotta be it. We don't have a way to deal with the Yorion. I guess Consider's better. Let's see. The decks are like 1 mana spells anyway. They're a little wary that they have the man land. They don't block this, they should attack with these. We take 7. 4, 3. Hmm. Yeah, that's what they have as well. Okay, on bottom. Alright, they're gonna block. I'm a moron, but also isn't lethal right now. Want to. So I'm currently thinking we can burst lightning, pick up burst lightning again, and then have an opt. I think if I'm doing that, I might as well cast the opt first. Alright. That's all I have. If the one card in my hand is anything, we're still kind of dead. I think we got to try and take the line. Yeah, so if they have the removal spell here, then it lights. Alright. Okay. So on the spell pierces, I'm like, these are not how many cards that do any. The others are really awkward because they like kind of just like take our hand away slowly. The reckless rages are, there's like not a gap between the small things and Yorion, so these are like about as good as these Torch Towers are. The able to entrap the small creature stuff is kind of relevant. I don't think like Pyroclasm was getting anything done here. Just like, is there anything else relevant that we want to take out? We're getting through the small stuff here. Monster Trace is really awkward. Post board. I maybe want to trim 2 copies of Battle Reveler, but maybe this is also just our way to win the game. This is a card engine. We shouldn't like the way we lose with this in our hand is if they get some like weird aggro start. I'm actually so up for just like leaving these out. Or like trimming 2 copies of Crash through or something. I hate cutting cantrips. What's a 3/3? Okay. Burst Lightning was good in the end here, but I'm gonna do this. Move these across. As an answer to what's the next 3, there's like a couple of different things. But yeah. Like the 1 blue, like flying enchantment thing. That or something with counters on. Alright. We got 2 more chances, 2 chances to close this out. We won that off the back of better than Merville into 3 lands as well, actually. So, I need to have more belief. More belief. Not this kind of belief, though. That's a mulligan. This is a keep. I'm gonna keep 6 bomb. I consider here, just because of the mountain. And that's fine. The town was also good. I think the line with like the pick up the burst lightning would be sweet, but I think the way we played it Well, actually, given that I forgot about the sack to gain life, like this is definitely better. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and consider. I am happy enough to draw this. I'll block this in case they block and try and do something weird. Alright, second creature out. Okay. 3 colors. No problem. Lauren blows up the Steel Cutter. Okay, this is I'm kinda down for this. Just opt first, see what we see. Swiftspear +1, you don't get to trade still. We should just take this. And just opt into the go wide plan here. They can make some like double block, but they lose both creatures, so it's not actually good. They're 10. Alright, if we get locked down, but then again, hey, be sad. Or have they got some other kind of... I've not been litigious enough. Litigious? No, that's not right. Like legal stuff. I'm like, I don't know which kind of sweepers that these decks play. But that's fair, and keeping Lauren in play is quite nice. This would have been good a little while ago. Alright, Crash 3. Well, let's just Rage. I'll play this on the blue side, we'll pass. We have the Rhythm Reveler. So anything we cast, it catch. That's crazy. I feel like you shouldn't. I don't know. Sure. Just gonna ritual out about the Reveler real quick. This can go. Basically, like spell pacing anything on site here because we're gonna battle the Reveler off the back of it. I'm just curious as to what else they've done. Alright, my turn. Around here. I will shoot this. Yeah. Okay, don't feel terrible. Cast Reveler. They have a grip full of cards. This is a little worrying. I'll do this. Now we have about the Reveler with Trample. The tower. 1 for the mine, 2 for the tower, 3 for the plant that generates the power. Talent. So... and then they're going to pick up. We can rebuild a little bit here. I kind of don't mind that. I'm like kind of thinking we could level up talent and am I doing the burst lightning, the spell pierce, the what here? I should have grabbed this. I don't necessarily think it's incredible. This is kind of okay.
I am the Emperor of Kamigawa.
The set of words that I've outlined.
My people.
We'll tap the Wandering Emperor. Oh, it can activate its thing, can't it? Yeah, I guess we won't do that. I'll just hold mana, that's fine. I was like, oh, we just attack it. Like, no, that literally the text on the card. And then assuming they're actually gonna yeah. Gonna counter up.
Strike fast and strike hard.
There are 3 cards left. Merrick's isn't doing tons right now. The thing is, they've got Yorion to fall back on, but with the temporary lockdown in play, it's like, okay. Resetting lockdown is good, but not great. We need to deal with this Wandering Emperor, that's for sure. They have the mana to play for Spell Pierce. I'm kind of regretting this a little bit. It looks kind of silly. You know, this went with the this interaction went, but that's fine. First strike
Remember
here.
your training.
I want to hold this. I'm just like, we've got these 2 spells to play, so we can get this bigger than this anyway. Oh, it doesn't keep first strike either. I think borderline lethal attack here. I just don't want to mess something up and end up with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm gonna do this to get out a little bit of misery. But also we can kind of reduce them if they want to interact. Oh, if they have a, oh no, if they have the second Wandering Emperor, we spell it. It's so awkward. If it weren't for Yorion and this kind of lucky in the background, we could be like, oh, we're just gonna level this up to 6 and start going off. This is on the Bedlam Reveler. That is awkward. Okay. You may block. Okay, these are 6, 5 power. I need this. No, okay. I'm just gonna use cards in my hand. I'm like, how worried am I about these things? On 7. Okay. Okay, so they are going to minus the Wandering Emperor. Depends what they have to deploy back out. I'm gonna use it or lose it situation. Alright, and they added Yorion. That's the problem, right? If you go Cori-Steel Cutter into Bedlam Reveler, we need to make... I think this is Bedlam playing the Opt, because we can just haste the Bedlam Reveler and send it at the Wandering Emperor to kill it.
I guess that's it then.
That's dead. They Yorian, they get all this stuff with the temporary lockdown. If they take out the temporary lockdown, they do exile their own Stormsaber style and don't get any value for that. They get our Cori-Steel, we get left with the Bedlam Reveler. We have backup Bedlam Reveler plus Monstrous Rage. They don't have mana for anything else, really. I think it's kind of forced unless they have some other weird play. Oh, well, not weird play, they have like some other removal spell. Yeah. So, what are they flickering here? Is it just this talent, or are they going to get the lockdown as well? The lockdown's good, but not perfect. From our side, it's a little awkward. What's this? Tokens and stuff. Things getting in. Oh, they have to keep the 1/1? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, they're at 9. We get like one really good attack with the Reveler here. Cast spells. Alright, alright. I haven't seen their other yet. Nice! Alright. Alright, this is... We are 5-0, playing for 6-0. A possible 7 wins. Oh no. Alright, okay. Alright, more than to 6 on the play. Not too bad. So last time we went from 5 to 10 boosters and like 25 to 3,000 gold. This time it doubles from 10 to 20. Those arena resources kicking. I'm just going to bottom the should bottom. Be good here. I've not actually played against Red yet, so hopefully the pain will not hurt. Deck's been performing really, really well. I think some of my decisions have been not great. The sideboard is a little scuffed, I would say. I'm going to play this here because we don't have the third land guaranteed. I'll just play it out. Bigger Foundry. That's not going to Boros. I've seen like Boros. Oh, is this Mardu Grease fan? Oh golly. Might be in for one here. Don't have loads of answers for... This would be so nice at some other time. Okay, this solves our problem a little bit. A little bit. This was the card I was looking for. We've got 2 copies of Reckless Rage main deck. Maybe the other 2 should be in the boards, but like realistically it should be like Rending Volley. So Rending Volley, Ghost Vacuum, and all the cards I was thinking about. The annals are pretty miserable. I think they're just worth a spell piss. I think some number of Rending Volley could easily be correct. Especially given the current I guess resurgence that Greasefangs had. I said both yeah, Scoverin as well. They could be have Thoughtseize. They have Thoughtseize. We should use one of these to kill one of these. I think so. Or we're like making tokens next turn. But killing one of these cleanly is fine, I think. Not great unless you're killing both though. So they have Artifact Sorcery. No, let's just get one of them dead. Let's just make it happen. Alright, you have a choice. You can take the burst lightning if you like to take the burst lightning. Probably is correct. We could draw another one or something like that. They're on 13 here. And assuming that they do have the Grease Fang for next turn. I thought Tears was what I was worried about. Oh, okay. I guess they have a free attack here. We could also block. So in games where we win, we need to draw another, presumably another answer for Grease Fang. I like to sit with us anyway. I'm gonna block here. We kind of need to draw a spell. Either way. Okay. We're on hard mode here. We're on the maybe you don't have a Grease Fang plan. So if they don't have a Grease Fang and we get a couple of turns, we get to pick back up the Reckless Rage with one of these. Okay, they have Overlord and not Grease Fang. So right this second, oh no, yeah, they have a land. Okay, sure. I mean, if we draw a cantrip, we're still kind of casting the cantrip, right? Reckless Rage. There's no guarantees anywhere. This being here is really bad for us already. I guess that if they're willing to trade away the fear missing out, 5, 6, 7, 8. Doesn't to 1. Hands off these two. I'll make the attacks. Kind of convinced this is better than going just like pick up for nothing. Yeah, I was doing the math to check if this like would put them at 1 if they didn't block. There are 4 here. Obviously they can have it. FOMO again. That infinite fear missing out glitch. There are 4. This would be pretty unfortunate not to take Grease Fang. Crash throughs. Bad. Would like to draw another spell off the back of it. Okay, we did do that. About it. Alright, that's game 1. As mentioned before, things get a bit worse. So 1, 2, 3. The way I was looking at this is that like they've got like things like Fable and they've got enough stuff we do this. I kinda want to board the same way we did last time. Me trying to think what we did last time. These are the good cards. We trim 2 copies of Bedlam Reveler. And then do we go down on Crash 3? I just decided that like kind of is bad and we want to like do something like this. Trim like 1 more copy of something. Would have been Burst Lightning, right? The Burst Lightnings do like nothing. It's like we're leaving one as the 59th card. Or Reveler. Doesn't kill. That's like Harvester still. Put it back. Alright, we'll do this. So we've got 2 shots again. The dodge getting Grease Fanged. Normally when I play a red deck in the Pioneer Expo format, I have just a handful of like rending volleys and friends to be prepared for Grease Fang. It's like such the freest include. They didn't hit a vehicle here, or in fact anything they can get back, so I'm pretty keen. We can either run out because we don't have the 3rd land again, I'm just going to do this. It's the longer answer, it's the shorter answer of what I was going to say. We can have like a bunch of double spells for next turn. We still don't have an answer for Greasefang. We need to find that. We have a couple of considers. We also don't have a third land. There's some issues. We have double monstrous rage, so if you can put enough damage down beforehand, okay. They've run Weretas and stuff. Do they have like push and things? Alright, and I can consider part of this is we don't have a land. Also, like if we hit Reckless Rage, it's kind of just kind of the same damage, but more damage now. They got a fatal push? They have a fatal push. Okay. We've got 2 turns for the Overlord. Like normally you're like, oh okay, we've got like not like super worried. But we do have some stuff to fall back on. Greasefang. Just make sure there's still no vehicles here. There are not. Okay. So this time I'm pretty content to just slam both of our one-quote creatures and just try and dig for whatever next turn. If they have like Thoughtseize themselves, Greasefang, or they have land, fear of missing out. If their hand is land, fear of missing out, Parhelion, Greasefang, then that's fair enough. Fable's pretty good. Fable ain't bad. Fable gets them there. Really. We have Coast. Stupid Steel Cutter. Alright. Steel Cutter's great. You just don't need it right this second. Could have done you a ton ago. Alright. Casting this again. Okay, so the backup thing here is that if we... This is such a pain. We can't... 9 to 6. And then we have Monstrous Rage. I think that this needs to go. Yeah, because destroying land here is better. I'm gonna go attacks. If they have a fatal push, we're also kind of toast. But my thinking here is that we're gonna just try and maximize damage and then kill through angels. They have the push. That's not what I wanted to see. Alright, they're at 7. We only have 2 creatures. If we draw land, we still have something here. They didn't have a vehicle. Okay. They also kept Goblin Token alive. So if they have like attack, makes Eye Sovereign. Oh, they get an Overlord. And they have the Fear missing it. Oh gosh. Okay. They're at 7. Just the worst land to draw of the bunch. Yeah, we can't make attacks here. Okay, so they have FOMO online. Oh. Okay, we're at 16. 13. Okay. Okay. They're just gonna... We got a turn before the other Overlord comes off. Oh wait, but if they hit a vehicle, and they didn't hit a vehicle, they just hit creatures to bring back. Now what's the play? This is tough. I don't know. Maybe if those are... The thing here is that everything will get trample. This is one of those let's see what we draw moments. We have this turn, basically, that's it. They've got 2 unknown cards in their hand. There's just no way this goes well, actually. I think this is our last chance because they've got the Fear Missing Out online. They're gonna have the Reflection. They've got the... Like, how many things do you want to block? At all to start with. But then, past that, like... Like, most efficient thing to do... They got a removal spell. So currently, they are taking nothing, which doesn't seem great. I think from our perspective, we need to try and do this. They have a push. I think we do like 1 overkill damage on a bunch of things. They might go to 1. They do go to 1. Oh. Okay. Was there a way? I think that was the way the Poseidon Max was done. Should we get the... Oh, I might have thrown this. Oh, yeah, we're done. Yeah, there's probably a way for us to live here. There's no way we're reveling anything, I don't think. And the games went kind of a long way. Having a couple of copies is probably fine. I think on the play, we maybe just like bin it off, play like sleek efficient removal and stuff. I mean, like that board. Current cards themselves looking good. Bob is a super wonky. I kind of want to do this. Alright, alright. You should work quite out to close all the available. Yeah, I think that if I target the right thing with one lethal. I was just convinced that with the he trampled over in like 3 different creatures. Yeah, I just up I think. I'll play. And I'll keep this. The one is like, okay, they've got wear tears and things like that. Good mulligan. I'm leading on this because I want to have as much information as possible before I decide which of these I'm playing and which way around I'm playing this. Because at the minute we have the up that we want to cast. There's an argument like, do we want to cast like Cori-Steel Cutter on turn 2? Or save for turn 3? Versus Greasefang, we want to get out of play pretty much as fast as possible. So we can have mana up to interact. Excuse me. But if they have like wear tear or something like that, it's like, okay, that's rough. Harvester. Okay. I'm gonna play this on blue because I'm gonna cast the Opt here. Go ahead and consider. I kind of do want to draw this because they might have like a Fable. In which case I'll make these attacks. Alright. Feel like it saves the crash to you for next time, that kind of thing. Catching Fable here would be delightful, but there's a Parhellion. Fable no longer that important. Surface looking a little silly. What's gonna happen? We don't currently have an answer for East Fang. They're gonna wear head. This I will Spell-Pierce now. We do have like the 2 copies of Bellamember left. It's unlikely at this point we're getting like high value off the Spell-Pierce. Like, if we're getting value off the Spell-Pierce, it means they haven't got the Grease Fang. Which itself is, you know, fine but not perfect. Okay. Go ahead and do this. And this is damage, but we're players need most stats. We're representing stuff. If they have Grease Fang, they're in trouble. But it's not entirely over. It is possible for us to kill through angels. It's just very difficult. And we have no spells in our hand right now. So we're going to need some runner wins, or this will be the end of the run. One Monstrous Rage, cut it. I don't think it will. Though... There's just no way. Yeah, we can pick back something up. This is unfortunate. Do you want to block with like one angel? Part of this is basically like, oh hey, if you don't have a way to get it back in your graveyard, this is actually not terrible for me. Go ahead and activate that. Yeah, consider. Alright. Never mind. That'll do it. Alright. That is the end of the run. Pretty good going, I think. Shame not to get all the way there. But pretty good run with like kind of a brie. Taking inspiration from the decks popping up in standard and modern and kind of like building our amalgamation. We get 5 wins, 5-0, or 5-1 I guess now. 3k gold, 10 packs. Like packs from Explorer. The deck ran really well. There are some changes I make with sideboarding, especially considering like the sideboard was like very thrown together. If I just pull it back up, we'll go through a quick outro. Ooh, I do have a timeless version on this build as well. I've not had a chance to mess around with yet, but yeah, like I said as well, if you're interested in seeing that kind of thing and more timeless content in general, let me know in the comments. I don't know if there's a huge demand for it. I kind of stopped paying attention for a little while ago, partly because of the every new card gets added as a mythic and we get like 1 card every set. But hey. The deck though, performed super well. I'm basically happy with every single card in the main deck. The lands are a little awkward. Like, you don't really want to play mana confluences, but like the Riverlight pathways can be, depending on the start, a bit awkward. Like the Island and the Mountain. Could play an Otawara here. I had it in the initial list and like trimmed it just to kind of like be on the safe side. We have a couple of basics to find, like if you get like Field of Ruin or something. Similarly, like I was initially like, oh, I'll play like 1 each of Den of the Bugbear and the blue land, because there are games where you get up to like 5-6 mana and you're like, oh, maybe you could consider activating it. Blue land, not good enough. The red one is like too awkward. Having 3 mana on turn 3 is super important when you can to go like Steel Cutter into spell. And so yeah, that's why pretty much. And not to worry, you're rarely activating it, but probably is worth playing over the basic island. I think anyway. That's probably a change I'd make. But hey, other than that, I'm very happy with the main deck. Like, the Battle Revelers were great. Have not cast this card in a while. I've been super impressed with it. In like the older formats like Modern, people are like playing a couple of these, and like the Prowess deck. I think here 4 is absolutely fine and perfect. You're not like getting as many cards in as fast, but the format's just a bit slower, and you like chaining these together really gets you through some of the slower, grindier matchups. Cantrip wise, like I think Crash Through, giving all your creatures trample is really good. You could try playing Sleight of Hand, but also like needing loads and loads of blue sources can also be a little bit tricky with the pathways and things. The creature lineup, the 12 one-drops are playing, like really solid. If you either don't like Battle Reveler, or you like want to trim like some Soul Scar Mages, or you want to play some more creatures, or you're not super happy with, even with Sunchase's talent, you could try and play like Slick Shots and play a more like all-in aggro build and like just like trim the Battle Revelers and be like, no, I'm just gonna kill you. I think that's totally reasonable as well. There's stuff to do with that. But I'm super happy with this list. The one thing I'm not super happy about is the sideboard. So there's a couple of different things that I wanted. I like was playing matches. I was like, why don't I have Ghost Vacuum for like Grease Fang, or the Omniscience that we played against, which was pretty cool. That was one thing. Rending Volley, again, Grease Fang. Also, it's like Rending Volley's got so many different applications, especially like Pioneer, like the top, like if you look at Goldfish on the meta, there's like a few different decks it's relevant against. But if you think about a bit wider, it's the wider spectrum of things like humans, angels, like all these kind of different, more at this point kind of rogue spirits, kind of rogue decks. It's just got so much, so many things. It's just the best card against Grease Fang a lot of the time. Though with like the thoughts and stuff, like having like Ghost Vacuum is very solid to be able to it's agreement cards. And then the other thing was Ghost Vacuum. I was talking about like a null as like a potential way to like do enchantments. Not great, I'll be honest. There are some other counter spell options that you could play with and toy around with. Having hard count, I wanted so that these disable strokes are here because I wanted hard counter spells to be able to board into versus ramp. And if the game's got slow, I could like bring them back with Stormwatch's Challenge and have like a hard counter spell where Spell Pierce eventually they'll just be able to pay out of. So that's kind of interesting. The needle heads I've not been impressed with. These are things I would trim to maybe make room for. Like there are matches where they're good, but like Phoenix isn't very popular online anymore. So like a couple of Ghost Vacuums and some Rending Volleys. Like I didn't play against mono red at all, which is wild because it's like the top like 3 percentage decks in the format. I think if you take like the percentage of the format that is mono red, it's like over 25%. Or sorry, is red decks, like Monstrous Rage decks, I guess, including this, but not really including this. This is a bit different to talk about. You like trim a Pyroclasm here and kind of make some extra space that way. I don't necessarily think you absolutely need the strokes. This is in particular like because you need to be able to counter like overlords as well as countering like rats and things, whereas like negate wouldn't get you there necessarily. There are some other cool sweet one-ohs. It's the kind of deck where like there are some different options. So if you have any ideas, do let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do like, subscribe, share the video around. I'd really appreciate it. All that stuff helps me out a ton. And again, try this out. This is super sweet. This card is awesome. I've seen some like Boros stuff with it as well, and as well as like listen to some of the more like either mono red or like red black like aggressive takes like as well. The last thing I will do here is open these boosters. So we get I think 10 random packs from quote unquote Pioneer Explorer. We got 3 Eldraine. What do we want? Some of these might just be. Oh yeah, there we go. We got some gems. Love 20 gems. Oh, Depop. Midnight Hunt. Vadrix. Or okay. Core set 2019. I would rather open new set boosters, but I understand why they've done it this way. I think V should be gems. Can't remember for sure. Ooh, Mythic Wildcard. Here we go.
Are you sure you're ready to face me?
And last pack of the video. I've not read this card before. Alright. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Have a great day. Hope you enjoyed. Take care.